Things are gonna get better now. But you're still a drunken slob.
Yes, things are going to get better now. Because it's Headbangers and Hooligans, the funnest show on the internet. As always, yours truly, Scummalicious. You notice I switched that up from the best to the funnest. Because best is kind of strong. I don't want to get too crazy. But it is a lot of fun. I mean, that's the whole idea. If you're listening to me and you're not having fun, well, then I'm not doing my job. Alright, Hump Day. What can we talk about on Hump Day that will perk you up? Will get your excitement level up to 5 or 6 or 7, maybe even 8. Well, Face to Face. It's a band that I've mentioned quite a bit. I've never really went into them with a lot of detail. They did get to number 23 on my top 50 of all time with Big Choice, and I'm going to make a revelation here. Yes, I said revelation. Another big word. I don't know why I do that, but they will have a couple more in my top 50. Yeah. So that kind of tells you how important they are to me. So I thought today and tomorrow, being that they are the band of the month for August, yes, I'm bringing it back. Yesterday I got to thinking about it, and don't have the website anymore because basically I don't use it, I don't need it, so it's kaput, gone, goodbye. But there was a couple things on there that I did like, and one of them was Band of the Month. And I know we're in the middle of August, but the idea is every month there will be a few shows dedicated to whatever band I choose. And that's only fair because a lot of these bands, Diesel Boy, Nerve Herder, the Bouncing Souls, yeah, the hardcore fans like me, you know, we know everything about them, but a lot of people are still discovering these bands. You know, a lot of people don't know about them because, well, they were born in a terrible era for music. Let's be honest. You gotta feel sorry for the kids. I tell that to my son all the time. You know, geez, this generation and the music that they're subjected to is pretty awful. So that's what I do. I do my best, you know, to give these bands. I am their spokesperson. That's all I am. And hopefully, because of me, you know, new people will listen to them. That's the whole idea. Alright, Face to Face. An introduction. I'll kind of go over some stuff, part 1 today, and then tomorrow we'll finish it. So it's like a, you know, it's like a little series, 2-part series on Lifetime Movie Network, Face to Face. I gotta think of a 3-word title like they have for all their movies, you know. The Dark Obsession. The Dangerous Neighbor. And, well, there you go. We do have 3 words. Face to Face. There you go. Alright. 1991. That's the year that that was their initial year, basically, out of Victorville, California. The current lineup is Trevor Keith on guitar and vocals, Scott Shiflett on bass, Dennis Hill guitar, and Danny Thompson on drums. Alright. The first CD I ever purchased was Big Choice. The very first. I was buying cassettes all the way up to 1994, and it took me a while. I didn't like the compact disc when it first came out. Not because it was shitty, it's just because I loved cassettes. I still do, you know? I'll never forget Def Leppard, High and Dry, the first time I played it in my Ghetto Blaster. That memory has always stuck with me. Why? I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that Ghetto Blaster, that's what I'm calling it, was just so awesome. It had giant knobs on it, and this thing was gigantic. Like, if I dropped it off the Empire State Building, I think it would still play. But it was just hard for me to wrap my hand or my head around the idea of CDs. Okay? But I knew I had to. It's like, this is what's going to happen, scummy. Yeah, actually, this was before I was scummy. Anyway, you got to do it. So I did. And am I glad that I bought that CD? And so how did this start? Where did it all begin? Well, it started in high school. Matt Riddle, who played bass, of course, Trevor Keith, they were friends in high school, and they met a couple other guys, brothers, Todd Atmeyer and Matt Atmeyer. Todd played guitar, Matt played drums in a band called Victoria Manor. And here's a neat little tidbit for you. Metal band. That's right. It all starts with metal. I'm telling you, you know. That's why I always laugh when I hear, you know, I've always been a punker, man. You know, I've always had a mohawk. I don't give a fuck. I'm a punk rocker. Okay. I hate metalheads. You know, the whole 9 yards, all that shit. It's a fucking joke. We all started out as metalheads. Anyway, so that band, of course, disbanded, and then Keith and Matt. And if that name sounds familiar, it should, Matt Riddle, because he would go on to play bass with Pulley, No Use for a Name, and right now he's currently in the Implants. Yeah, guys, to me he's a legend. That's how I see him. Anyway, so Trevor Keith and Matt Riddle, they met Rob Kurth, and they formed a band called Zero Tolerance. Alright? And they played under that for a while, and they decided they wanted to change their direction musically. And I think that was a smart move. I gotta admit, I never heard any music from Zero Tolerance, so I don't know how good or bad they were. But that's when they decided to change, and they became Face to Face. And they played a ton of shows, mainly with, and this is what I read, mainly with The Offspring and Guttermouth. And then in 1991, they signed with Dr. Strange Records. Alright? That's a big deal. Bill Plaster was the owner of Dr. Strange Records, by the way. I told you, this mind, it stores the most useless information. It just does. I don't know why. I do. Anyway, so that's when they recorded their first album, Don't Turn Away. So the first album I ever purchased was Big Choice. So I had never heard Don't Turn Away. And it took me a few years to listen to that album. But all I can tell you is, wow. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with me. Hardcore face-to-face fans will disagree with me. It's their best album. And I mean, I'm Not Afraid, Everything is everything. I'm trying. Do you care? 1,000. There's no bad songs on this album. Okay, no fillers. Yeah, I say that a lot too, but there really isn't. It's just powerful, melodic, catchy. You know, you're going to listen to these songs and then you're going to listen to them again. The CD goes into your CD player and it never comes out. It's that good. Anyway. And another reason, you know, that I think that it's so good, it's because it's definitely music that a 20-something person can connect with, you know? Kind of trying to figure out your way in life, you know? And that's the one thing about Face to Face. I don't think they've ever cussed in any of their songs, which actually is kind of amazing when you think about today. You know, everybody wants the big sticker. Hell, I talk about it all the time. That's the first thing kids look for, isn't it? Oh my god, that's gotta be good. It's got a gigantic sticker on it. That means they're gonna say fucking shit and get over here and suck my cock, man. I don't know why I just changed my voice like that, but I just had to. Anyway, they really have it. I really don't remember them cussing in any song, but they don't have to. I mean, that's how powerful they are. They don't need to cuss to project the emotion that they want to get across. And you know what? A lot of that is Trevor Keith. And I feel really bad because I did a show. You remember this? My top 10 punk singers. I did not put Trevor Keith in there. What the fuck was I thinking? I'm telling you. What a singer. Like, powerful, powerful voice. Okay? But that is a huge part of why, you know, why I connect with music. Alright? So we get Don't Turn Away. 1992. Alright? Well, in 1993, remember, they're just a three-piece. They decide to add another guitarist, okay? Chad Yarrow. Yarrow, 1993, okay? And they switched labels. They signed with Victory. That's when they recorded Big Choice. Now, this is really weird, okay? They also released an EP like 2 weeks before Big Choice. This was the record label's idea. And this will tell you why record labels are so fucking stupid a lot of the time. They released this EP because they just wanted to see how people would react to it. I mean, you already have an album recorded. Just release the album. I mean, you signed them for a reason. Why do you need to release this EP, you know? Anyway, it had 6 or 7 songs on it, and they were songs off Don't Turn Away. And of course, there's a lot of people that hadn't heard Don't Turn Away yet. And there was a different version of Disconnected on there. Well, boom. That's the hit. That's the one that, I hate saying this, that's the one that made them take off. Or that's the one that made them big. This is so fucking stupid. Anyway, it's a great song. In fact, it's one of the first songs I ever learned to play on guitar. I still play it. I love the song. Anyway, so you've got Disconnected on Big Choice, and you know, just like Don't Turn Away, there's a reason why Big Choice is in my top 50 of all time. No fillers, you know. It's just, they just always have great songs. Alright? At least in the early days. Okay? You just can't, you couldn't go wrong with the Face to Face album. Alright? So, you got Big Choice, and of course, it's getting a little popular, and then they tour for it, and we get up to 1995. Now, this is where Matt Riddle leaves. I don't know, I don't think it was like he was fighting with a band or anything. He just wanted to do other things. So he leaves, and we get Scott Shiflett on bass, okay? And the thing about this, why this is a big deal, the first two albums, Trevor Keith and Matt Riddle, they wrote the songs together, most of them. Well, means he was gone. Trevor Keith was kind of left all alone. And I think Chad Yarrow helped out a little bit, but it was mainly Trevor Keith who wrote most of the songs for their third album, self-titled Face to Face. Holy shit. Let me tell you something. The album cover is a dude, and he's looking in the mirror. Yeah, face to face, right. Anyway, I was in Arizona at the time, okay? I had just gotten there by way of California. It's a long story. You know, I was in Iowa. I wanted to go to California because I had all these dreams. I was going to be famous and start a band. And, well, obviously shit didn't work out, and I ended up in Arizona. Yeah, boy. Anyway, so, Face to Face, this new album comes out. I didn't even know it was out. I was just walking in a record store, and there it was, the cassette. Isn't that weird? First CD I ever buy is Big Choice, alright? 2 years later, the new album comes out and I buy it on cassette. What the fuck was I? Anyway, of course I had a cassette player in my car at the time, that's why. Anyway, wow. I am not kidding. That cassette did not leave the cassette player for 2 months in my car. I am not kidding. Holy shit. And one reason why I love that album so much, just like the other two, every song is good. Like, you tell yourself this, you're like, why can't every album be like this? Why can't every band do this? Like, no, they never wrote a bad song up to this point, in my mind, okay? But one reason why this one really stuck out, now don't turn away, and you have to remember, I hadn't heard it yet, okay? But it sounds great. Don't turn away. But to me, a little bit, the production, I don't know. There's something about the production I don't like, which is okay, because, you know, punk rock, it's supposed to be a little raw, which is fine. I don't know. There's just something about it that's, you know, a little off. Big Choice, a little bit better production, but I don't know. It's good production, but the self-titled one, the production is perfect. I don't know why. I can't really describe why it's that much better to me. It just is. It sounds better when I'm driving down the road and I want to listen to Face to Face. That album just fucking blasts out of the speakers. You know, there's just certain things that can't be explained. That's one of them. Alright? But I mean, so many great songs. Walk the Walk, Blind, Ordinary, I Won't Lie Down. And so you got Trevor Keith, who's a great singer, okay? And you got all these fast, melodic punk songs. Is the guitar work, is it unbelievable? It's good, alright? It's simple guitar work, but it sounds great for what they're doing. And the drums, yeah, he's killing it on the drums. And at that time, I'm like, holy shit, Face to Face has got to be in my top 5 bands, right? Like, nothing. Everything this band does is just amazing, right? Right. So, self-titled album stays in my cassette deck, or cassette player, for 2 months. I'm not making that up. But I get back to Iowa. Alright, a couple years later, you know, that's a whole other story itself. Anyway, we're going to kind of move up to 1998 because we have another lineup change. Rob Kurth leaves, the drummer, and he is replaced by Pete Parada, okay? So, the lineup for the next album is Trevor Keith, singer, guitar, Scott Shiflett on bass, Pete Parada on drums, and Chad Yarrow is still the other guitarist. And in 1999, they released the album Ignorance is Bliss. And that's when Face to Face, the band that had put out these 3 amazing albums, okay? Just fucking loved them. Ignorance is Bliss was a pile of shit to me, okay? This is a totally different album than the first 3, alright? It was totally different lyrically, the production, the music itself. It was more indie and softer, and even the song titles, In Harm's Way, Prodigal, The Devil You Know, God Is a Man, Maybe Next Time. And honestly, over time, this album has actually grown on me. It's not as bad as it was in the beginning. And there's a YouTube video, and he mentions that Trevor Keith was like, we loved the album. We put a lot of time and money into the album because we wanted to do something different and unique. And he's like, everyone hated it. And he's right. I just remember putting it in and going, this is not Face to Face. It wasn't the fast skate punk. The melody was still there, but it was a different kind. It felt indie and just alternative. It didn't have the punch, and I missed that punch, okay? And wow, talk about a huge letdown. And like I said, I don't hate that album as much. In fact, like I said, it's kind of grown on me, and I will kind of get into that tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to stop it right there. Face to Face, an introduction part 1, and then tomorrow we got at least 4 or 5 albums to cover. This band, I'm telling you, 1991, they've been around for 26 years. So, yeah, there's still a lot of shit to get to. Alright. And by the way, go check out the albums I talked about. Don't Turn Away, Big Choice, Self-Titled, and Ignorance is Bliss. You can tell me what you think later. Alright, I do this. Take it easy, and if it's easy, take it twice. I'm out.